The sun burns bright over the quiet suburban street, where children pedal their bikes and sprinklers hiss across manicured lawns. But the peaceful morning shatters the moment you notice a massive metal gate standing overnight, blocking the entire road. A bold handwritten sign is attached. Private road HOA property. Cars screech to a stop. Neighbors freeze mid-step. Phones illuminate their worried faces as they try to capture the unexpected scene. Your pulse races as you approach the gate, fists clenched, heart pounding. This is my road, my property. You have no right to block it. You mutter, scanning the documents slapped on the gate. Marla, the HOA president, steps forward with two contractors in reflective vests. She waves glossy permits and invoices with a smug smile. Everything is legal, she says, her voice dripping with confidence. You don't flinch. Every step toward her, every photograph you snap, is a declaration. This isn't just about a gate. It's about stolen authority. Neighbors whisper among themselves, some nod in silent support, others clutch phones, ready to broadcast the confrontation. You inspect the padlock, sunlight glinting off the metal. This is no petty neighborhood dispute. It is an audacious grab of property. Your jaw tightens. The fight begins here, not with fists, but with strategy, observation, and the preparation to escalate. Across the street, children stop mid-ride, sensing tension. Mrs. Patel, an elderly neighbor, grips the railing of her porch, trembling yet resolute. The contractors shift uneasily. Marla's smug confidence is beginning to crack under the weight of observation. Every movement, every glare, every captured photo becomes evidence. The battle is set, and it is now a public spectacle, unfolding in broad daylight where every neighbor becomes a witness. The morning stretches on as you retreat to your home office. Papers scatter across the floor as seats, HOA minutes, photographs of the gate installation. Your phone buzzes incessantly. Every timestamp, every signature, every payment could become pivotal. You dial Mr. Daniels, a retired surveyor, who shuffles in with a ruler under his arm. This boundary isn't right, he mutters, pointing to faded municipal maps. This land belongs to the city. Someone is lying. You record the conversation, photographing maps and scanning old deeds. You trace LLC payments, suspicious accounts, shell companies, and contracts that look flawless on the surface but hide corruption beneath. The pattern emerges: funds diverted, permits forged, power misused. Neighbors provide shaky footage from the night the gate appeared. Flashlights, hammers, timestamps, 2 a.m., proof of clandestine operations. You compile lists, make timelines, and write names. Every shred of evidence is documented meticulously. Sunlight reflects off your notes, illuminating the work ahead. Action here is cerebral, slow but tense. You map the battlefield, turning observation into power, preparation into leverage. By evening, you have a complete dossier ready for legal consultation. Inside a cramped law office, Riley, a young, razor-sharp attorney, sits across from you. Coffee cups stain the desk, paperwork towers around her. She slides a thick folder toward you. You have misrepresented adverse possession claims, possible forgery, and municipal encroachment, she says. We can file an injunction to open that gate and demand a full audit. You nod, eyes narrowing. I don't want just a gate open. I want them exposed. I want consequences. Riley outlines the strategy: court filings, emergency motions, contacts within the county inspector's office to expedite inspections, civil suits for fraud, asset freeze orders. Each paper is a weapon. Precision is key. You leave, folder in hand, ready to mobilize the neighborhood. Law is now your ally. The fight is escalating, from street confrontation to meticulous legal warfare. Sunlight catches the folder as you walk outside. This is the start of the long game. The community center hums with anticipation. 10 neighbors gather, anxious yet determined. Mrs. Patel grips her hands tightly, trembling. A young father in uniform clenches his fists. A teenager dares you to live, stream everything. You raise your voice. They took our road without asking. Today, we take it back. Tables fill with papers, maps pinned on walls, Phones record, live. Streams run continuously. Flyers distribute evidence. Signatures collected, witnesses aligned. A GoFundMe is launched to fund legal action. A local vlogger joins, camera clicking constantly. Neighbors hand over photos, texts, proof of HOA corruption. Momentum grows. Helplessness transforms into determination. Visibility is power. Numbers matter. Every neighbor is now part of the narrative. What was hidden is now in the light. Public exposure becomes a weapon, and the stage is set for confrontation. Sunlight filters through the hall where Marla presides over a special meeting. Cookies and refreshments fail to mask the tension. You enter with a binder thick as a brick. You're sitting on a stolen road. You announce. Phones lift. Live streams begin. Photos, timestamps, videos, payments, forged signatures, all laid bare. Board members shift nervously. Half the room gasps. Half stares uncertainly. Marla forces a smile. These claims are defamatory, she says, voice cracking. You remain calm, letting evidence speak. The county inspector is en route. Chaos simmers. Control slips from Marla's grasp. The scandal now dances in sunlight, impossible to ignore. Daylight illuminates your porch. Two men step from a truck, bulky and intimidating. Their eyes lock on you. Move along. This is ours now. One growls. You step forward. You've signed papers that don't add up. The county says otherwise. A shove. Flyers scatter. Hands grapple. Shirts tear. The scuffle is messy, human. Neighbor slams a door. Dogs bark. Phones capture every moment. The men retreat, frustrated. The street is tense. Fear is noted, but never allowed to dominate. Every threat is documented for evidence. Blue and red lights flash across the street as you arrive at the police station. The sun casts sharp shadows, highlighting the chaos spilling from your neighborhood into law enforcement territory. Inside, the officer reviews your folder filled with timestamps, photos, videos, and live stream recordings. This isn't just a fight. It's harassment, intimidation, and the seizure of public property under false claims. You explain. Outside, neighbors gather live, streaming, filming, documenting. The vlogger captures drone footage. The gate, crowd, children cautiously nearby. Neighbors holding evidence packets aloft. The county inspector confirms an official site visit. The mayor's office checks in. HOA members glance nervously at the flashing lights. Public visibility and legal accountability tighten around them. The street is alive with determination. Flyers, evidence packets, cameras, and phones form a web of accountability. The HOA can no longer act with impunity. Law and exposure dominate. Riley hires Anna, a sharp-eyed private investigator with the ability to uncover hidden truths without being noticed. The morning sun reflects off Anna's laptop as she sifts through bank records, emails, and contracts. Every keystroke uncovers more. Payments from the HOA to a mysterious LLC, then redirected to luxury car leases, personal vacations, and high-end purchases unrelated to community projects. Anna finds an email from a subcontractor admitting the permits were fast-tracked. Through connections bypassing proper channels, the chain of corruption is undeniable. HOA funds meant for public road maintenance have been misappropriated. You gather the documents in your hands, feeling the weight of truth. Each page, each line, each transfer is a nail in the coffin of Marla's authority. You prepare photocopies, annotated evidence packets, and digital backups. Neighbors begin to rally around you as Anna shares her findings discreetly. Whispers circulate. They lied. They stole. They thought we wouldn't notice. Tension rises. The HOA is exposed before the neighborhood even knows what hit them. Every glinting sunbeam off the printed sheets feels symbolic. This evidence transforms the battle from reactive to offensive. The next moves will be precise, legal, and unavoidable. The cars, the gate, and the accounts. They are all now in jeopardy. Courtroom lights glare down as Riley files a civil suit against the HOA for fraud, embezzlement, and breach of fiduciary duty. Evidence includes bank statements, email chains, eyewitness testimony from the night of the scuffle, and Anna's investigator findings. You stand quietly at the back, heart thundering as Marla enters, composed but pale. The judge's voice cuts through the air. Given these allegations and documentation, probable cause exists to consider asset preservation. Riley stands, firm and commanding. We request an asset freeze and forensic audit pending full trial. The clerk signs the temporary restraining order. HOA cars, bank accounts, and contracts are now frozen. Marla's confidence wavers. Board members whisper frantically. Outside the courtroom, news crews wait. The first tow truck is already scheduled to remove assets tied to misappropriated funds. This legal action transforms the threat into immediate consequence. Neighbors gather, witnessing justice begin to move. The stolen road, misused funds, and abuse of authority are finally being met with law enforcement intervention. Early morning, sunlight glints off sheriff's vehicles rolling down the street. Officers move methodically, serving subpoenas and seizure orders. Tow trucks wait with paperwork in hand. Marla watches, stunned, as officers inventory computers, financial records, and the lease agreements for luxury vehicles purchased with HOA money. Cameras capture every step. Neighbors peek from behind hedges and fences. Some cheer quietly, others hold back tears of relief. Marla is escorted away for questioning, visibly shaken. The official process ensures that vehicles, files, and digital records are legally frozen or removed. Every action is documented, every step lawful. The stolen cars, once symbols of arrogance, vanish under judicial authority. You watch silently, knowing the battle is being won without chaos, but with precise legal strategy and public transparency. News vans converge like a storm. You stand on the curb, surrounded by neighbors, speaking into microphones. They stole from everyone on this street. They took our road, our trust, and thought they could get away with it, you say. Marla appears on camera, defiant at first, then defensive as the financial evidence is broadcast. Sponsors withdraw support, bank accounts freeze, and public scrutiny intensifies. Riley leans in, whispering, criminal referrals may follow if prosecutors see enough intent. The community now sees patterns of corruption, not just a gate. Public opinion fuels legal action. The HOA board's power crumbles under transparency. Court orders escalate. Prosecutors file charges, embezzlement, fraud, misuse of HOA funds. Marla and 2 board members are indicted. Sheriff's tape returns, but this time with handcuffs. Leased luxury vehicles, purchased with diverted HOA funds, are impounded. Neighbors watch as justice unfolds. No smashing, no vigilante action. Legal procedure secures restitution and accountability. The shiny cars, once symbols of power, are now evidence of corruption and justice. A final board meeting is held under court supervision. The community turnout is enormous. Marla sits, powerless, front and center. You step to the microphone. You took a road that wasn't yours. You took money belonging to everyone. Today, the court begins to set it right. A board loyalist attempts to shout you down. A scuffle erupts briefly. A chair tips. A neighbor restrains the aggressor. Police present intervene calmly. The judge's appointed receiver outlines steps. Dismantle the gate. Restore the road. Repay misused funds. Restructure HOA governance. Justice is methodical, legal, and satisfying. Months later, dawn breaks. Workers remove bolts from the gate. Chains fall. Children ride bikes down the road freely. Mrs. Patel waters a flower bed reclaimed from the edge of the street. Seized cars are auctioned by court, ordered to fund community restitution and legal audits. Marla pleads guilty to charges, receives probation, and restitution orders. Remaining board members are removed. You walk down the center of the road, sunlight on your face, smiling quietly. We didn't burn anything. We didn't sink a wheel. We documented, rallied, sued, and let the law do the heavy lifting. Children laugh and race down the middle of the street. The gate is gone. Authority without integrity has fallen. Power without accountability cannot stand. The final line lands like a benediction. Power without integrity is a house built on sand. We just watched the tide come in.